My name is Amanda Deck, and I'm the Director of Student Life and Advisor of Alpha Pi Psi Chapter of Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society. On behalf of Quincy College and the chapter, I would like to welcome you all, inductees, your family and friends, and the entire Quincy College community to your annual induction ceremony. At this time, I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Associate Dean of Online Programs at Quincy College, Dr. Daniel Ibarrondo. Dr. Daniel Ibarrondo possesses a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science from Fordham University, a JD degree from the State University of New York at Buffalo School of Law, an educational specialist degree in bilingual and bicultural education from Seton Hall University, and a doctorate in educational technologies from Pepperdine University. He is also a member of the Harvard University Institute of Educational Management class of 2005. Dr. Ibarrondo's higher education experience includes having served as Associate Dean of Extension Centers at Mercy College, Director of Professional Studies at Pratt Institute, Special Assistant to the Chancellor for International and External Affairs at the University of Puerto Rico, Director of Corporations, Foundations, and Government at Southeastern University, and Instructional Designer at Mountain View College. In business in 2000, Dr. Ibarrondo founded Advancement and Development Associates, Inc., a federal government relations firm representing private institutions of higher education. As president and CEO, he directly obtained over $100 million in funds for the firm's college and university clients. He was featured by CBS, Dallas-Fort Worth, and is a recipient of numerous awards and recognitions in law, education, technology, and business. Please give me a warm welcome for Dr. Daniel Ibarrondo.
Humbled, and I'm going to place in my will that Ms. Amanda Deck is going to read my obituary. For me, I am truly humbled and honored to speak here today and to be among you. I got to speak to a few students and hear their stories from Pembroke from Russia, from Vietnam, from Colombia. It's nice that Quincy College is very international and diverse, and that's one of the great things that I like about working in college. The other thing, and I'm sure you've experienced as well, there's a lot of love in Quincy College, and it's not a word that we use in business environments, but I feel the love, and I hope you feel the love as well. Having heard your stories, I like to tell you a story, because when you reach the age of 103, that's what you do. You tell stories. So I'd like to tell you a story about this kid I know. And this kid was born and raised in Harlem, New York, 125th Street, Grand Housing Projects, fifth child. I know him very well. Raised by a mother who worked in factories, who only achieved second grade. He lost two of his brothers to the vices of the community and drugs. He himself was a gang member and sold drugs occasionally. And this kid, one day, in sixth grade, he had this wonderful teacher named Ms. Caroline Malinowski. And Ms. Caroline Malinowski told this kid, or told the entire class, you kids have to learn how to question everything. And for this young kid in sixth grade, those words were like, wow. Okay? Because he went to Catholic school. Now, he wasn't from a rich family. His mother collected cans and soda bottles, and at that point in time, he turned them in for 5 or 10 cents, right? And you got to redeem it. And with that, and saving pennies, she was able to send him to Catholic school. And if any of you are Catholics, you know that you don't question anything in church, right? You do as the nuns say, and you do what the priests say, and you keep your mouth zipped. So he went home and said, wow, question everything. Mom, why are we poor? Mom, why is there so much violence in Harlem? Why are there gangs? Why are there drugs? Why don't the police do anything? Why are we powerless? And that whole process led this kid to, what you well know, critical thinking, critical analysis. And this child decided that education would be his way out of Harlem. Eventually, he did that. And if there's one of the things that we know as we grow older is that sometimes life does not give you the opportunity to go back and thank each and every person that helped you to where you are today. And that's because some of those moments we realize it, the impact, right? We realize it afterwards. But, give me a second. I know this kid very well because that kid was me. And this is Miss Caroline Malinowski, my 6th grade teacher. And this is my fat old self in 6th grade. But she was very influential, and I don't know where she is, and I tried to look for her on social media and Facebook, and she's probably gone. But one of the bad things that happened to her was she also took to heart question everything. And so in Catholic church, we had Catholic school. We had to go to Mass every Wednesday. And as we walked from the school to the church, one day Miss Caroline Malinowski told Father Harris, you know, if you had the power to put your hands over the host and wine and convert it into the body and blood of Christ, the kids fall asleep during Mass. Can't you do that with pizza and Coke? To me, it made sense. Flour and liquid, right? So they kicked her out. She didn't finish the year and moved back to with her hippie self to California. But she impacted not only myself, but my class. And so, fast forward, as I graduated from law school, I decided, well, you guys know this about service, right? It's time for me to serve. And so I went back to Harlem, where I worked as an attorney with the Harlem Community Organization Legal Assistance Project. And the goal of that was to help the community organize itself to combat drugs, violence, gangs, and powerlessness. And let me tell you, it was much better returning to Harlem being on this side of the law than the other one that I was in before. Right? But Caroline Malinowski instilled in me, question everything, and so I continue to question, and I continue to educate myself and get myself into massive debt with all of the education. But it's all worth it, right? And so for me, for this kid, it is truly an honor for me to sit among you. My mother, as I mentioned, only went to 2nd grade. And had she been able to go and pursue further education, I asked her, what would you have become? And she said, I would have become a teacher. And so I am a teacher, I am a professor, and I do this in service for the students in her name. But one of the things that she taught me, despite her 2nd grade education, she also worked in rich homes, cleaning, washing clothes, and she had a set of plates and forks and knives, and on Saturday mornings, she would sit me down and say, okay, you have 2 forks, 2 spoons, a couple knives, 1 napkin, okay? And this is how you use each one. And I'm 10 years old, and I'm like, why? What's the point of this? And she said, because one day you're going to sit at fancy tables. And so, yes, that day arrived. And every time I sit and invited to a fancy dinner, I look down and I smile up at heaven to Mom, because she taught me not about the knives and the forks and how to use it, but how to set a goal and challenge myself. And that's what we're doing today, right? This is but yet another milestone in your education, and it's one of many more that you're going to achieve. And hopefully, and I'm sure you will, you'll remember the fellowship that you've created and the service that you will continue to do in your community, in your state, in your country. And they told me to keep it short and sweet because there's food at the end. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Thank you, and I mean this from the heart. I am truly humbled and honored to be among honored students. Wow. Congratulations to all.